Alright, so what got saved? Thank you. Okay, I'm way back. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna click through all this. I don't have to worry about all this. Just means I gotta save more often, I guess. I can't skip because I haven't gone through this, I guess. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. Alright, well. Which means I'm probably gonna have endings where I have to choose between Chiami and Rikako. And there's probably gonna be no good ending that allows both of them to live or whatever. Okay. Almost done. Oh no, I'm not almost done. I still gotta go through all the students. Why did nothing save? That last autosave was so long ago. Well, that was unfortunate. I was actually looking forward to the rest of this. Okay. Come on. Could wear out my mouse like this. Okay. Almost there. Okay. Alright. Menu, we're just gonna save here. Just in case it happens again. Okay. Lord. It's taking... Okay, it's not actually taking that long. So, it'll take me 3 minutes. Alright. Okay. There we go. Wait. There we go. Chapter 5. Okay, we're almost there. Alright, you have a good you have a good time. I'll probably do this for another hour or so. Reading all this out loud really does strain the throat. So, okay, got it. They obey the laws and will die today. What do you mean? Today we prepare for the feast. Those who did not are punished by our great Lord Shinai. Please go. Rikako took Mako on her hands, took a step back. That alone made her face less clear. Please prepare. I wish to see you again tomorrow. Oh yeah, you have a good night. I will. Saw that right before her face vanished. She clearly liked me. So much that she was almost crying. She probably assumed I wouldn't believe her and thought I'd be a pile of gore tomorrow. Not a chance. I knew how serious this was, and understood the depths of their fear and despair. On top of it all, I wanted to help them. Yeah. I don't know why, but my whole computer went down. Just weird. It's an omen. Oh, goodbye. I wanted to reassure them by making it all too clear. Made my way carefully downhill to my hut. Unlock, enter, lock. Oh man. Felt so much safer than last time. After all, I could actually lock up, had a decently sized space that was protected from the mist, and a nice place to lie down, unlike that bathroom, that toilet I was stuck at. Made it this far. That alone was a strong sign I was doing way better than before. Turned on the light, I actually had electricity here. Well, I'd had in the dorm last time too, and that was really cut was the telephone wires to the dining hall. Weird to think that missing severed phone wires were enough to create a closed circle like this one. Even weirder, they actually came back here of my own volition. Well, not really. We tried leaving, and it just didn't pan out. I reached into the bag of the corner of the room and opened the yellow box of food. It was probably unfair to everyone else, but I needed the energy. I'd have a hell of a time tomorrow. After my half-assed excuse for dinner, I took the wet towel from the pail and washed my body. I then checked if the door was really locked. All that was left was to spread out the futon and sleep. Could I, though? After all, I had so many things on my mind. First, the things I'd learned today. Alright. Found out I could change how things went down. This time, I somehow succeeded in becoming an inhabitant here and saved the journalists. For now, we saved them. I had no idea if this would make things better than last time, but it's clear things were different. That alone was big. Had to be. Also, I had a feeling there was at least one of Yasumisu's inhabitant who had experienced a feast before. Thank you, Stream Elements. A little late on that, but thanks. This wasn't that new, but now I felt like the elders weren't the only suspects. Takumi could have experienced one too. Tomorrow, I could probably ask if there was a visit before, and I could actually make it sound natural. The settlement's history was just as deserving of an investigation as its customs and superstitions. And Rikako. She might have actually been way weirder than I first thought. She fell often and went nuts when you just called her by name. Despite her weirdness, though, there was a certain charm to her. She was kind of like a fancy-looking restaurant that you were afraid to go into. But when you mustered the courage, it turned out to be unexpectedly cheap and sold simple yet nice flavors, making you really attached to it. But, objectively speaking, it felt like she was actually attracted to me. But why? Did our first meeting leave that much of an impression? Not that I minded the attention, but this seemed a bit too good to be true. Whatever the case, I'd form a bond that I certainly didn't expect last time. Assuming I solved this whole mystery, what would I do next? Following through on my lie and actually living here would upset too many parties, so that was a no, and if I left here someday... What would become of my relationships? Rikako didn't look like she'd ever leave this place. What about Chiemi? Why was I counting my chickens before they hatched anyway? I did appreciate that Chiemi actually liked me this time, too. I wasn't much help her last loop, so I was kind of fixated on saving her on this one. But there was another way to look at this. That was a feeling born of a trip through hell with her last time, standing by her until the end, but Chiemi from back then wasn't the same as the Chiemi from this loop. Any feelings I had for the previous Chiemi had nothing to do with this one. There was nothing more hollow than chasing after unrequited feelings, right? I had enough of thinking about that, it just made me feel empty inside. Time to review more important things, like the previous roles. Takumi was the snake. Chikamochi and Maiko were the monkeys. Yasunaga and Tai were the wolves. Those were the only clear ones. Now for the rest. Since the spider was supposed to protect the snake, who died on the second day, it was safe to assume it was someone who died on the first. That was either Kanzo or Yoshi, and I'm pretty sure it was the former versus the latter. I had no guess for the crow, though. That guardian didn't really get a turn in the spotlight last time. There was only one standard lynching, after all. In fact, there was far more abnormal deaths. Though I had no idea if those were or were not covered by the crow's power to tell if the lynch victim was a wolf or not. If they were, then perhaps the crow was waiting for the chance to come out. But all who died were humans, and eventually they were out of the game. Or maybe it was someone who couldn't make good use of the power at all. Assuming Kanzo was the spider, then I had 7 suspects for the crow. Yoshi, Haru, Chiemi, Rikako, Kiyono, Kaori, and the old wolf. First, Yoshi. Honestly, I felt like he'd reveal himself as an owner of a guardian way before Takumi would. He was reckless and impulsive after all. Kiyono seemed like the type to proudly reveal that he had the crow. It was his family's guardian beast after all. Or maybe he was using it to gather information on his own so he could pull out a bunch of his own deductions all at once. No, he wasn't all that stupid, surely. He was given the free rein until the wolves got to him on the final day. He had ample time to do something. Then Haru. She betrayed the humans and sided with the wolves, despite the fact that it wouldn't save her life. Needless to say, that seemed insane. The Great Lord Shinai came to her in a dream and told her the truth? What the hell, who died for that? Was there some other way to create such madness? A method to create a murder? Was there anything besides what Yasunaga mentioned? I had no idea, but if there was, I really didn't think anyone with a guardian would fall victim to it. If Chiemi was a crow, I would hope she'd have confided in me about it. Kaori, I had no idea. She'd been the only one killed the conventional way last time, but was never really given the chance to speak up. Even if she was, it's possible she chose to keep silent and focus on killing everyone for her son, or she tried to become a shield for him. The old wolf guy made no sense at all. If he'd gotten a guardian, likely would have just gone to waste. Finally, Rikako. I had no idea what to expect from her. She was the only descendant of the Uematsu family and their current head, so perhaps she knew some secrets known to only the head families. However, from what I've observed for her today, it really did seem like she just had a bad feeling and came to check. I didn't know how intelligent she was either. She did seem to have a good intuition, but she was also a bit of a klutz. There's also the fact she'd been eliminated from the previous game due to some kind of strange corruption. Maybe she didn't have a chance to reveal that she possessed a guardian. That meant the most likely candidates for the crow were Rikako, Kaori, and the old wolf. What was most important here, though, was if those guards would be the exact same as last time. That's what I've been wondering, and I hope we figure this out. If they were, I'd have the feast in the bag, and that's probably not what's going to happen. If, to use an extreme example, I went and silently took out Yasunaga and Tai, I'd probably fall victim to the corruption, but the human side would win. Of course, the participants were different this time, so it wasn't guaranteed that we get the same guardians. But if Great Lord Shinai, or whatever, picked them and had some sort of qualifications for his chosen, the addition of outsiders would change nothing. On the other hand, if our participation could change the Guardian's assignments... Oops. Was it random, or was there some kind of pattern? Whichever it was, it would mean that there were no higher will intent on giving Guardians to specific people. Whatever the case, it would help getting close to the truth behind the feast. If I found out the rules behind the Guardian distribution, I could probably win without trying to read people's minds. The only problem was my whole looping thing. Nobody would believe if I told them. Couldn't blame them if I went and said, this is how it was last time, so you're the wolf this time. Everyone would think I was nuts. I had to look at this as nothing but a source of extra info to use to my advantage. And of course, I couldn't sleep. What happened if I spent the whole night awake? Was someone watching me? Did they know I wasn't sleeping? Would they come to kill me? That line of thinking made me feel like I was being watched. What about the locals? They already had the mist of the feast to fear. Could they sleep soundly? I knew the old story said they should be able to, but... Nii-chan, make me happy, too. There was something wrong with the people of Yasumizu. There were normal and regular circumstances. No total idiots anywhere, and not all of them seem to be the sort to lose themselves in superstitious ramblings. However, certain situations seem to act as a trigger, turning them completely irrational. The absolute extreme fear of the mist. The complete submission to the real story. The lack of aversion toward hanging people. Was that a part of the feast? If so, what kind of psychological systems were at work here? Couldn't understand. Things I couldn't understand scare me. Was there a limit to the extent I couldn't comprehend? What if it was just a huge, never-ending downward spiral of irrationality? If that was the case, it'd be pretty damn scary. What? Did I just black out? My eyes were closed, but it was bright. That could only mean that morning had come. No. Well, yes, but there was something more important. I actually closed my eyes and fallen asleep. Got to my feet. Sure enough, it was morning. I actually ended up sleeping. Well, that meant that since I completed my preparations, I was actually invited to the feast. That was proof that as long as you had a place to stay, you could participate in the feast, even if you lived here for only a day. It was 6 o'clock right now. I'd gone to bed way too early, but that provided me a good night's sleep. Couldn't sense any beasts outside. Without any hesitation, I opened the door. Sure enough, there was the mist. Last time the first one who come to me was Chiemi, but that was later than it was now. Was I supposed to wait before making a move? No. This was a chance to learn something I hadn't last time. I couldn't let this opportunity slip me by. Yasumizu was eerily silent. I couldn't see anything. My whole body was covered in cold mist and I was all alone. It reminded me of my time wandering the endless riverbed before death. Crap. People despaired when they were cold, hungry, alone, and could barely see. This was unavoidable, and not something I could win against. I had to find someone right away. Who's there? Hey, that's Kanzo. Suddenly I heard an angry shout from nearby. It made me turn rigid and then... You. Early, huh? Kanzo came out of the mist, gun in hand. Good morning. Woke up just now? Yes, nothing special happened. Saw your stomach? Huh? The Guardians show on the stomach. Oh yeah. Chiemi had told me that last time. Also mentioned something about Maiko not being able to read it. Go and look. If you say so. Acting like he didn't know what he was talking about, I returned to the hut. Man, that was close. I hadn't even considered the possibility that I'd have a guardian. Well, it was unlikely, but I had checked to be sure. Lifted up my t-shirt and exposed my stomach. Alright, I'm gonna call it not a guardian. Never mind. Never mind. I apparently got something. Am I a wolf? What I saw almost made me shriek. I hadn't even noticed it. I didn't realize there was something like this on my body. It was drawn in a red fluid, most likely blood. It was nothing I'd ever seen before. Also, there's some eerie text there. I need a mirror. No. I'll take a... No, use a mirror. You don't want evidence. After a bit of trial and error, I finally read what it said. The Tower Lookout. The Snake. Find the lurking Yomi. Cleanse and purify or die. I am the snake this time. Holy shit. So, this mark was the snake's. Clearly said the Tower Lookout. The description seemed faithful to the original source and had a certain aura about it. Find the lurking Yomi. The snake's role was to search for the Yomibito. Cleanse and purify or die. Man, not being roundabout at all, are we? Anyway, that meant the corruption would take me if I didn't wash it off, huh? Quickly grabbed a wet towel and washed off the freaky warning. It even smelled like blood. I didn't know what it belonged to, though. If it were animal blood, I might have been in danger of catching something. Man, what were they thinking? Anyway, the snake, of all things. That means everything is different. It belonged to Takumi last time. He quickly revealed it, and I assumed the wolves used it to their advantage. After all, the snake was the human's only way of actively confirming who was a wolf or not. This made it even harder for me to die. And just like I thought yesterday, the roles had changed a lot. There was now no guarantee that Yasunaga and Tai were wolves. They could easily be humans. But the same went for everyone else. It was the best to assume that I'd been sent back to square one on that front. Yeah. Wait, how was I supposed to use the snake's power anyway? The blood letters only said that it was the snake and had to wash it off right away. Did someone know? You should have had this guy. No, he was never given that conversation. He was never a part of the feast. But if I went to ask, I basically told them I was a snake. Would there be an explanation during the first feast? I had no choice but to believe. For now, I just returned to the plaza. Good morning. I walked through the mist as I called out. Over here, boy. This time I had no problems meeting up with Kanzo. Did you check it? Yes. Well? My mind stopped for a second. Well, what? Nothing. Don't mind it. I could have blown my cover right there. I could have been a complete dumbass. He looked away. Was that a leading question just now? Yes! If there was something on my stomach, it meant I had a guardian. I was meant to be a newcomer who didn't know anything. Wasn't it unfair to ask me that? If I actually said or even implied there had been something on my stomach, that would mean I had a guardian. Or if I said there was nothing, that could also be used against me further down the line, putting me at a disadvantage. If he was a wolf who knew the implications of his question, then again, felt like he retracted his question because he knew it could lead to that kind of misunderstanding. Shit, I'd love to ask that, but I couldn't use knowledge I wasn't supposed to have. Makishima, right? Have you looked around yet? Hmm? It seemed like a yes to me. Is everyone alright? One's dead. Alright, who's gonna be dead on this one? Hashimoto. I'm thinking Hashimoto's dead. Huh? Wait, you completely lost me just now. What's going on? Stop making noise. I'll kill you. Kill? Did he just really use the word so casually? Stay where you are. I don't trust you. He brandished his rifle again. I don't know anything. I didn't do anything. We'll decide that at the feast. Sure was assertive. Maybe he didn't have a guardian this time. It's made me realize I could tell a friend from foe by searching for differences in the behavior from the last time around. Are you sure about that? For now, though, I just make it through this awkward moment with Kanzo. Soon enough, we're joined by the others. Tai, okay, Takumi, okay, Kaori, Yoshi, the old wolf, Takumi, okay, Kanzo were there. They went to the Nosato mansion and the dorm, leaving me with just a woman, a child, and two elders. Hey, old fart. I was one of those old farts, damn it. You mean me? Who else? Now that's just uncalled for. What is it anyway? You know anything? Huh? Like what? You got sent to Yasubizo and this happened. It's fucking weird, ain't it? I mean, you got the bullseye there, Yoshi. You got it. Something's wrong. You talked to Higuchi, right? Did that asshole tell you anything? Nothing comes to mind. Played it off. Looks like the streak of bad luck I've had since Tokyo is still going on. I can sense the situation isn't normal. This mist is just crazy. Like you're one to talk, you're batshit. He said that, but his tone wasn't as antagonistic as before. I actually felt somewhat friendly. You can only guess that my act from yesterday warmed him up to me a bit anyway. Yoshi, this again? I ain't picking a fight this time. Now stop pushing yourself. You're all pale. Oh my god. He's a caring sentence for his mother. My God. It truly is a cold day in hell. Sorry about all this, Fusaishi. And Yoshi, you behave. Huh. I don't mind. By the way, Rikako and Maiko still aren't here. Seems so. They usually wake up early. I don't give a shit about the village heads. Stop it, Yoshi. I'll go and call them. The relationships here are really complicated. Soon enough, Tai brought Rikako and Maiko. Okay, they're alive? Morning. As she entered the plaza, she looked at her mist-covered faces. Upon seeing mine, she gasped. Then gave me a very slight bow. For being weird. I rolled my futon and hit my leg. It hurts. Maiko seemed in poor spirits. A bit later. I'll make it better. With some magic words. Magic? I wouldn't have been all that surprised if she was actually capable of that. It's my first time seeing Yasumizu's mist. It's awfully thick. My first time as well. I believe we have to perform the feast. True. I don't want no fucking family head telling me what to do the goddamn feast. Yoshi. I'm sorry for being so powerless. Hey, you're scary. I ain't okay with you being here. You're still a village head. There's no way to tell what you're thinking. What's your beef with her? Do you hate the village heads that much? Damn right I do. Without them, Mom would have... I'll expose you eventually. Yoshi sure was aggressive this time. Did he have a guardian? This line I think it felt dangerous. Making too many assumptions seemed more risky than not knowing anything. Rikako was as inexpressive as always, but I could tell she was feeling depressed. Man, things sure are difficult here, huh? Ah, Haruaki. She looked around in confusion before. I'm relieved that you are well, truly. Then she gave me a smile. Hey, it's not like a mist can do much to me, right? Saranaga, that is the name of the river below. Its mists are said to be the breath of Yomi. They are considered to be the worst of all omens here in Fujiyoshi. Nosato told me that people always die when there are mists. She made a stern face unlike any I'd seen on her. What a horrible thing to say to a newcomer such as yourself. Oh, but he said that only because the mists were so dense it caused many accidents. Even so, it is imprudent. People still live here. Saying that someone's certain to die is too ominous. I've only been here for a day, but from what I can tell, you're pretty different from the other family heads, aren't you? Well, why would you think that? Well, the way you talk about Yasumizu. For one, it's nothing like Nosato and Kamifujiyoshi's people. I merely think that it should be shown the respect it deserves. Fujiyoshi as a whole depends heavily on Yasumizu, so... What do you mean? Can you elaborate? I shall tell you eventually. Now is not... Yeah, I understand. It's a bad time for that. No, this might be the only time. I want to protect Yasumizu. Thus, Rikako fell silent. Feeling a bit awkward, I resumed waiting. Soon enough, Takumi brought Kiyono with us. He immediately started worrying over Rikako, as expected, but she seemed unreceptive to him. I might have gotten in the way of his love story. Made me feel kind of bad. Eventually, Kanzo returned along with the students. Mamiya, watch where you step. Whoa! Seeing Hisako with them filled me with relief. Thus, I finally understood what would happen now. Good morning, everyone. Ignoring everyone's gloomy faces, she forced a smile and greeted us like it was a normal morning. The inhabitants didn't respond. I also had to guess about what had happened, so I had trouble picking my words, too. What's wrong with you all? Sure, this is a dense mist, but what about it? Wait. Is Hashimoto still asleep? Again, no one responded. He's up the hill, right? I'll go check. No point. I knew it. Kanzo opened his mouth, taking it upon himself to say it. I could already hear some stifled sobbing. It was Haru. Not only was she afraid, she also realized that a tragedy had occurred. Mamiya realized something was wrong and was about to ask about it when... Big guy's dead. Damn! The crude old man just told her what was up. Dead? What are you? He's lying dead near the landslide. He went out and wandered? What kind of nonsense is that? She instantly lost her composure. The unnatural aura around her was suddenly starting to get to her. Don't mess with me like that. We must fix our van and leave as soon as possible. I'll go wake him up myself. Stay where you are. What right do you have to? Makishima. I raised my voice because Kanzo reached for his gun again. This has to be a joke. What is this? Am I being punked? Did you burst the tires for this? Oh. That makes sense. We still don't know your rules. There's no guarantee that we'll do what you want just because you have a gun. I mean, you might want to listen to the guy with the gun. What's your deal? Yeah, you should stop that, old man. What's gotten into you? You always tell us never to point guns at people. Oh, I mean, hell. Takumi is on my side on this one. Kanzo silently lowered the gun. If it's not a joke, then it's a crime. You're going too far. Stop it right now. I'm leaving this instant. Mamiya-san, was it? Sorry, but that won't fly. You can't leave until the mist clears. And sorry to say this, but your partner's gone. Someone killed him. Killed? Killed? What are you saying? Takumi, take her. Can you handle blood? You're joking, right? I'll go with you. He helped me a lot. Alright, you'll have to help me, though. With the cleanup, I assumed. Alright. I shall go as well. Maiko, you stay here. I'll go too. Me too, that shit doesn't scare me. How absurd. He must have tripped on something because of the mist. The place happens to belong to me, so I guess I must see it too. How troublesome. We have so many volunteers that besides the old people of Maiko, the only ones who ended up staying were Kaori and Haru, both of whom didn't look so good. Takumi led us uphill. Since we went through the field, some of us fell or got stuck, so we took a whole 10 minutes. Still, we arrived at the scene of the crime. What I saw there was exactly as what I saw last time. Yeah. There was a brutalized corpse. It was close to the prefab next to a waste hall boulder, which did little to hide the large body. It was thoroughly destroyed. The entire frame had been torn apart and bent as if to systematically detach his muscles and sides and bones from his body. The only things that hinted at who this was the scattered pieces of clothing and the impressive amount of flesh. Once again, Hashimoto failed to survive the first night. Man, this guy is just unlucky. So he went outside last night. As Takumi-san muttered to himself, "What is that?" Mamiya-san finally broke her disbelieving silence with a hysterical scream. What happened? What happened to Hashimoto? How did he end up like... Mamiya, please calm down. How can I? Why? Why did this happen? This is just... Mamiya stopped mid-sentence and began puking. She either screamed herself into vomiting or caught a direct glimpse of the corpse. You're not the only one who wants to scream. Crap, I don't want to die because of some old story. You knew about this. Huh? You knew that this would happen. I asked him that while feigning anger and despair. Can't say I did, but we heard that this happens. Mists come, people die. Those deaths were caused by accidents. That's what I thought. I believe that the village head told us that too. And look at that, they were lying. Who lied about what? What are you saying? That the so-called Okami have come back from the dead? Don't act like you don't know shit. Monsters and gods don't just pop out of nowhere. It's the village heads. They must have sent some beast here. Stop it, you two. Rikako-san's faint yet stern voice cut their argument short. She then faced Hashimoto's body and lowered herself before it. It is our duty to give proper treatment to the guests who fail to prepare for the feast. We should at the very least let him go to Yomi in peace. I shall take in his corruption. Rikako-san then. What are you... Rikako was inching her face close to the pile of flesh and bone when... Get away! Mamiya-san suddenly cut in, stopping her. Hey, what are you doing? Stop! Don't hold me back! Her voice and face were borderline demonic. None of us could bring ourselves to stop her. She leapt over the corpse and, ignoring the blood, began sifting through the remains with her hands. It has to be here. I suddenly realized what she was doing. I'll help. She didn't respond nor stop me. She completely lost her cool, but that madness was under control. It was clear that this wasn't some unreasonable panic. After all, he must have had it. His camera. I began helping her, roughly searching the body. Haruaki, what are you doing? The camera. He might have taken some photos. Oh! This kill was the same as the last loop. The body was torn apart with no rhyme or reason. If I felt something stiff in my hand, it was hair. I was close to the head. Don't overthink it. His camera must have been on his neck. If I could follow this hint and felt a cord in my hand. Found it. Where? It was thoroughly broken. Expensive-looking digital camera. Must have cost a fortune, but Mamiya didn't care and just opened it. Come on, come on. Anything. Monsters? No way. They don't exist. She muttered that in delirium. Took out its memory card, threw the camera away, and ran off. Hey, where are you going? Ugh. Takumi, take care of the rest. The two disappeared in the mist. Since when did you two come with us? You know anything, Yasun? Not much, but... Look, the prefab doesn't have a toilet. No. He died because he had to take a piss? Is that what happened? Oh, so he had to leave to take care of his business. He didn't know how important the preparations were, so this result was obvious. I should have been the one to stay in the prefab. He died because of me. But I couldn't let myself wallow in regret. I'm gonna get that key. Rikako approached the body again, but Takumi put his hand on her shoulder. You don't need to do that. But I don't want to rely on some mysterious village head shit. Don't make me. Things will just get worse, and you Uematsu always get the short end of the stick, don't you? Just put your hands together or something. Takumi's tone was neither calm nor sympathetic. I had no idea what he meant by short end of the stick. But for some reason I felt like he was protecting her from something. Very well. Rikako did as she was told and put her hands together before chanting some sort of prayer. Yoshi watched her with a scowl. Rikako. Kiyono missed his chance to talk to her, so he was just frozen in place. Yasu, Yoshi, Chikamochi, take everyone and go back, then wash your hands and prepare to eat. Alright. Don't order me around. Let's go, Ri. Masato, it's time to leave. I don't need you to leave me. Let's go, Rikako. Thus they all left. Sorry about this, Fusaishi. Oh, you can count on me for this much. Takumi and I began cleaning up Hashimoto-san's body. We couldn't remove the door, so we carried him on board from the destroyed construction site. So we dropped him into Serenega. I listened carefully and thought I actually heard a splash this time. So there was a bottom after all. Then why have we gotten lost on that one loop? Thinking on that possibility, I parted ways with Takumi, then returned to my hut and washed the blood off. Went to the plaza again. The people had gathered around the dining hall. They were handing out food, apparently. You washed your hands? Yes, and the rest of my body. I see. Well done. Tai-san seemed to be a bit softer on me than before. You youngins need to eat. You won't last long if you don't. True, what about you? I don't have an appetite right now. Should eat anyways if you could manage it. Given a vague response, Tai looked up at the boulder next to us, followed her gaze, and this is... There's 3 symbols now. 3 symbols. Saw the blood sign from last time. Yeah, each of them represents a wolf returning from Yomi. So, since there's 2 marks, it stands to reason there's 2 wolves. But there's 3 now. And now, there are 3 wolves. Yeah, the 3 wolves with those diamond whorls. What do you mean? I'll tell you later. Very well. See you then. Bit overwhelmed, I walked away. Number of people had increased. I was told there could be 3 wolves at most. That was exactly what we got this time. Why? What caused this change? There were several differences from last time, but which one of them did it? Whatever it was, I could assume that knowing the rules from last time wasn't much of an advantage. Outside the dining hall, Kanzo was sitting on the ground drinking something from a large bowl. He looked up at me and, "Better eat up," said those curt words before focusing on his bowl again. He didn't trust me, nor did he antagonize me more than necessary. That was pretty reasonable, actually. Welcome back, Fusaishi. Inside the building, I found the students Uematsu, Maiko, Kiyono, and Kaori. Well, there was the old wolf guy too, but he's just staring at an empty bowl in the corner of the room. Sorry, I couldn't help. Odopi, thank you so much for helping Takumi. I didn't do much. Where's Chiemi and Mamiya? The journalist said something about looking inside the camera and locked herself up in her room. Serizawa went to clean the journalist's clothes. Made sense. Mamiya was really bloody. Here you go. Kaori gave me a bowl and I took one of the empty seats. Thank you for your work, Fusaishi. No problem, Yasunaga. You already remember my name. What an honor. It wasn't enough to hint I was looping, was it? I took a pair of chopsticks and ate up. A simple meal of some boiled vegetables and meat. I'm sorry it's nothing impressive. These are leftovers from yesterday, but we can't waste anything, as you might imagine. How much food do we have? The fridge stopped working, so the milk and meat will go bad soon, but you don't have to worry about the rice and vegetables. Oh, I didn't think about it last time, but at the very least, this awful situation didn't come with a food shortage. Perhaps that was a silver lining. So you have no electricity. Any other problems? Worried about the gas. I was almost about to change the cylinder, so if it runs out, should we make bonfires? Mountain or go apeshit. Chica, watch your language. Listen to that strangely mundane exchange. I resumed eating. It was actually good. It didn't look like it was, so I felt like I had to close my eyes. Unlike the soup I was given in Kamafujiyoshi, it was well salted and a rich taste. The meat had to be the game killed by Kanzo and gutted by Chiemi. Didn't reek much, it had a simple flavor. It's probably venison. I consider this revenge for the time they made a fool out of me in the mountains. In terms of the amount of meat and seasoning, the people here seem to be eating better than Kamafujiyoshi. Was it just my imagination? After emptying my bowl, I was offered some more and gladly took it. It was best to eat whatever I had the chance. I'm impressed by how quickly you got used to the local food. Kinosuke suddenly commented. I thought he was being sarcastic, but his tone didn't seem antagonistic. You're not eating? I have food at home. Honestly, I've lived in the city for so long that the local food seems tasteless to me now. By local, I probably meant Fujiyoshi as a whole, not just Yasumizu. I really don't like eating right now. You should dig in, Uncle. You might not get another chance. Mochi! Haru had been completely pale since I had arrived, but she suddenly covered her mouth and ran off to the bathroom. She forced herself to eat what she'd been given, but the stress had left her unable to keep it down. Mochi, you are disinherited because you don't understand people's feelings. Have you learned nothing? I don't want to hear that from you. I'll go say sorry. He went to the bathroom too, leaving the rest of us feeling kind of awkward. What's going to happen now? We'll probably have a gathering like the old days and use it to decide who did it. And what then? Don't worry, Fusaishi. Yasunaga joined the conversation with an unnaturally bright tone. I'm sure it won't be anything unreasonable. Oh, you sound confident. Makes you seem reliable. Maybe. Anyway, don't worry. Was he a wolf this time too? As I frowned and thought to myself, Takumi joined us. Takumi. Kaori. Give me lots of whatever's up. You alright, Kyo? Don't call me that. Oh! Fusaishi, you eating it too? Yeah, thank you for the food, Kaori. Man, you gotta eat her food before me. Lucky you. Good stuff, huh? Yes, makes me want someone like her as my wife. Oh my, you flatter me too much. You don't tell me you're after. Takumi, just go for it, man. Just go for it. Huh? What's up with this atmosphere? After playing it off. By the way, Takumi. Called to Takumi in a low voice. What? When's the feast? At 9. Old man Kanzo said it. Alright. Wasn't even an hour before we begin discussing who to kill. I'll stop right at the feast. Takumi began eating and everyone fell silent, so I went and moved seats. You okay, old man? Oh? It was the same as always. Man, just what would we do if he had a guardian? It sure is troublesome. I arrive and get caught in the mist at the very next day. Where in Yasumizu do you live? Ooh. This wasn't even a conversation. Sorry, looks like I got in the way of something. Safe here. Excuse me? Is he saying that it's safe in this building with these people right now? Is that the hint I'm being given? This is the most safe place. That's why I'm here. Safe? You mean the dining hall? No response. Were we having a dialogue or was he just muttering things that made no sense? Was he talking about Yasumizu? That couldn't be it. After all, this was the least safe place in Fujiyoshi. I thought they had a reason why he found it safe, but whatever it was, it couldn't save him from dying last time. In the end, it wasn't safe for him either. Something seemed off, but I couldn't put my finger on what. Damn it. God damn it. It has to be that these people are all innocent. Here. I'd somehow lost my right to sit next to him and began searching for a new seat as I waited. The clock seemed to move strangely slowly. The chair next to me was pulled a bit. Anyway, where could I sit? Our eyes met. Anyway, where could I sit? I wish to talk to you, Haruaki. Alright, Rikako. She expressed it with words. Anyway, where could I... Don't ignore Rikako. Why are you the one saying that? What do you mean? I know you're new and don't know who to respect, but it's common courtesy to respond to a woman's modest consideration. Oh, I'm not sure if it was modest, but I can't really argue with the rest. So you understand. Wait, are you just messing around? Rikako, you look beautiful today. Oh! Now you're just really making it weird. There, we're done talking. Anyway, Nosato, how do you manage to play the straight man so naturally? What the hell? Don't mess around with the village heads. You're being weird. Wow, we made a counter routine of these people. Strange guy. Fusaishi is quite funny. Hiyori, look at this face. It's funny, Takumi. Kiyono eventually shouted the stare. I'm not staying with someone so well bred and left. Well, Takumi went with them, so I doubted Kiyonosuke would end on lucky victim number 2 as per horror cliches. Came back to me. During the previous feast of the Omi Purge, Mochi and the old wolf guy had been killed, probably by something other than corruption. The suspects from back then who were now around the dining hall were... No, if it meant finding out the truth, I could just leave that. I had to switch gears. Anyway, I sat down next to Rikako, who said her, "Oh, so many times she actually gone limp." Oh my god. Fusayuki. So that's my name now, huh? You gave up on correcting her. Hey, Mako. I'll borrow Rikako a bit. Okay. Are you going to talk? That want to play with me, Mako? Yeah. Yes, and Naga took Mako with him, giving us a chance to talk. You are awful. Hearing that from a beauty like you actually makes me happy. Oh, god damn it. Quit doing this to her. I was actually starting to find those reactions adorable. Could she enjoy bullying a cute older... I could enjoy bullying a cute older woman. Damn, don't say that. This is a rare opportunity. I appreciate it immensely. Anyways, what is it? I feel quite guilty. Huh? Why? Because I accepted you and the journalists at the worst possible time. Is that something to feel guilty about? No one can predict when a mess comes. No. This has happened because of Fujiyoshi's original sin. Original sin? Yes, this village prospered by killing the servants of God, after all. The ancient story of killing the wolves, huh? I'd like to hear more. Yamawaki should give an explanation later. Yamawaki will. Yeah, after all, she is Yasumizu's representative. Representative, not a landlord, huh? Yes, everything in Yasumizu belongs to either the village or the family heads, but it still needs a manager. Yamawaki is a well-adjusted lady and the oldest of us all, so she possesses discretion. That is the way it is. I see, so the way it is that, huh? She is not impressed with that one. Instead of turning bashful, she actually glared at me this time. It's pretty good too. That aside, I now knew how it was. The eldest was the representative, and with that, she was in charge of the feast tutorial. By the way, you seem pretty hung up on guests. Is there some sort of local culture related to that? Yes, I hear that Fujiyoshi was once full of visitors who came to the Shinaya Shrine to pray for good hunting. Hunters from the outside were considered honored guests and treated kindly around here. That made sense. If the belief itself was the village's main draw, I could understand why this unique religion survived for so long. I wanted to get some certain details, but it didn't seem like something I should ask while alone. That's how it was. You're nice to me because I'm a guest, right? Huh? No, that is not. Or it's because I was there when you got hurt. That is... Yes, thank you again. But... Do I need a reason? Oh, not at all. I just felt like there was some reason behind it. What if there was? I'd be happy. Maybe. And she's blushing. The adorable woman hung her head down, cheeks reddening. I was the one playing around with her, but that actually made me feel kind of bashful. Perhaps I had to be more serious about her feelings. How would I do that, though? Forget it. It wasn't the time for that. I was given an important role, so I had to find a way to keep others alive. Shall we go? Kaori's voice prompted everyone to rise from their seats. Then we wordlessly began to leave the dining hall. It didn't feel like an emergency, but this was the end of our normal, everyday life. We already had people at the hall. Kanzo, Takumi, Kiyono, Yoshi, and... guys. Chiemi and Mamiya were here too. Mamiya-san looked depressed. Her panic attack seemed to have subsided, but that didn't mean she'd come around to all this. Chiemi wished me that they couldn't read the data they picked up, so we had no clues from the camera. Tough. The wolf guy, the students. Haru's face was so pale. Kaori, Rikako, Mako, and I went inside. Something strange happened then. As they went in, they hid their faces with both hands and lowered their heads. It was a really weird gesture. I'd actually seen it last time, though. Tai-san had done this while facing a boulder when Prayer to Shinai was playing over the speakers. There had been a strange veil-like thing on her face. Must be another local custom. For now, I just followed their lead. Everyone sat in a circle. It seemed they were seeing in order of age, starting from the far end. Yamawaki, I will sit next to Maiko. Very well. Wasn't enforced, though. Fusaishi and the journal should sit at the lower end. Alright. Sat down close to the exit, then Mamiya sat down beside me. Are you okay with this? I'm not a local, after all. Her tone was cold. What's going to happen now? No clue. She was whispering things like, why did this happen? Or, this just can't get any worse, and I couldn't see a single trace of the figure from yesterday. Is this everyone? Yamawaki-san entered last and closed the door, plunging the room into darkness. Mamiya gasped and Maiko let out a quiet scream, but that was it. No one here from Yasumizu was shook. Then there was a click of a switch being turned on, lighting up the bare light bulb above. Alright, we're going to call it here. Alright. This is good. We got a bigger group. There's 3 wolves. And I have no idea who it could be. But he gave this hint like he's saying it's safe at the dining hall. And there were certain people at the dining hall. Others were not there, so don't have to worry about that. Anyways, so we'll figure this out. We'll figure this out next time and put the game. Probably do Armored Core next time and then rotate the 2 games until October. Which case I plan on doing Parasite Eve and maybe do a specialty run when I'm on vacation or have a collab stream going on. But that's it for today. So until next time, this is Faramir signing out. Good night.